Good morning, sir. How are you?
I am excellent. Thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to this.
Oh, I am too. Like, this is one of my favorite things to do. Like, I'm a Black Mirror nut. Like, Charlie Brooker fan. Yeah, totally Charlie Brooker fan. I think he's amazing.
So
Well,
yeah.
this we're doing Bête Noire. It's French. I can't speak French. I'm from Jersey. I just can't do it. But it means black beast, right?
Hmm.
That I did look up in. Well, it was quite interesting. So I'm going to let you tell them first. First of all, welcome everybody. If you're here now, coming into the chat, or you're here later, welcome. Glad to have you here. Don't hesitate to tag us with questions or comments that you need us to address. So why don't you tell me, a little bit about the episode from your perspective here? Like, what's
Okay.
the?
I'll give you the overview without getting into too much
Mhm.
detail. I really liked this one. We start off with a woman called Maria, and she works in the food industry as like a food researcher. She creates
Mhm.
recipes, etc. And then we start off at a testing session for a new candy bar that she's made. And
Mhm.
people they don't really like it. They don't really like the candy bar. She's not too keen on it. But one of the testers that they brought in is a woman called Verity, who Maria recognizes from school, and
Mhm.
she kind of describes her as being a bit of a computer geek, quite an odd individual at school that she didn't really socialize with. And Verity is it seems to be the only person that likes this candy bar. And as soon as she speaks up and says, "Oh, I really like this," suddenly everybody at the table kind of start to agree with her, which
Mhm.
Maria finds a little bit odd, but never mind. We move on. And then Maria and Verity start talking, and they have a little bit of a catch up. We used to go to the same school. How are you? And Verity mentions a job interview at Maria's company for being a food researcher. And Maria had heard nothing about this job, and she was like, "Oh, you must be mistaken." But it turns out actually that there was a job interview, and pretty much the very next day, Verity is working with her at the company. And the more time Verity, I'll not get into all the details now, but the more
Mhm.
time Verity spends around Maria, the more things for Maria start to change. It's very much like the Mandela effect. People will bring things up. For example, the name of her boyfriend's burger bar where he used to, or fast
Oh,
food.
yeah. Yeah, the chicken place he used to work at. Yeah, yeah, yep.
And
Mhm.
I don't know if it's a real burger place, but like it was either called Barney's, but then the Mandela effect changed it to Bernie's, or it was called Bernie's and it changed to
Mhm.
Barney's. I
Oh,
don't know.
yeah, she was adamant, right? Like, she was adamant about it too. Like, no, no, it's this, and that
But
was stunning.
she'd been working, yeah, because she'd been with this bloke for years, obviously,
Mhm.
and yeah, so she knew where he worked. But then even then she realised that no, I've got that wrong. She's misremembered, and these things spiral. We'll get into details later, but these things really spiral out of control. And linked in with that is the suicide of an old friend
Mhm.
of hers from school, and we don't really know where that's going until the end. And do I give the spoiler at the end? I'm not don't want to get into too many details, but jump to the end or leave that?
Well, we can get to the end later, but basically, because what you're laying out here is like total. The Mandela effect is it's just it's total gaslighting. It's like this poor Maria girl. I kind of feel for her, like from the start, because like, do you remember when Verity Green comes into the scene? Like, she's not even supposed to be there. Like, they try to dismiss her at first, but then all of a sudden she's on the list and there's a seat for her. And it's like right away you get this feeling like, well, that's odd. Not to mention that the actress herself, I think I had her name here, uh, Rosy McEwen. Boy, does she play a good villain because she looks so sweet. She looked very much like Nicole Kidman, didn't she? Like looked like a
Yes.
young, yeah. And so she looked so sweet, fresh, innocent. Looked like a here in America it would be like a Kansas farm girl, like rosy cheek, and, and yet she remembers her, and when she remembers her, it's uncomfortable. Like she knows who she is, and you can see that there's something there. There's something that she remembers about high school that's not so kosher between them. Like you can tell right away because she's just like her eyes. Maria, who that actress also, I've seen her in a few other things. This is the first time she picked the Black Mirror universe. It was Siena Kelly, but she's very expressive. I wouldn't be surprised if Charlie Brooker used the show again or something. But she, she just the way she just made her eyes all big and all, and when she's talking to her boyfriend that's been together for a long time, and they're talking about high school, she's remembering things that were just not comfortable. And it puts her in a state where she's not comfortable from the start, remembering how she was in high school. At least that's the feeling I got. Like she was like, there's something there that she doesn't really wouldn't be too happy if everybody knew about. Like she's not happy about it. She's not dealing with it. They talk about a little bit of bullying that this Verity had, right? And it starts to come out that she was part of this bullying. Like she was in this group of mean girls. And you mentioned the suicide of the death of the friend.
Yeah.
And that friend actually is the leader of this, like the biggest bully out of them all, the one that really went after her so much. Well, she looks so timid and quiet, and everybody at work likes her. And the more that everybody likes Verity Green at work, the more Maria's getting uncomfortable, because she's like, there's just something weird about her. It's like she flashes back to high school to where, no, that's the weirdo geek from high school. Like, we can't like her. We can't have her here. Like, we can't do this. Like, it's almost like she feels invaded in her space. Like, wait a minute, this is my really cool job. Like, my life is going great. Like, what the heck are you doing here? Like, you don't fit in this picture.
And a lot of it was, I think, was odd for her as well, because obviously this Verity was a computer science genius, and dropping into like food research just doesn't seem a fit. Like, why is this woman who's gone on to do all sorts of wonderful things with computers, or was a computer expert, why is she suddenly now in my field? And why actually is she getting better feedback, if you like, for her performance and her work than I am? It was a strange situation, and my wife picked up before I did what you were talking about, the bullying. I didn't spot, but very early on when
She
Maria,
talks about it, yeah.
yeah,
She
it
told
was.
she told as soon as she gets home that night, she talks to Kai. That's her boyfriend's name, I believe. She tells him, like, it was so weird that this girl, she just popped up, and it's so weird. We were just talking about it the other night or whatever. Well, did you hear? Like, what really got me is the very first scene with Kai and Maria at home. They, in the background in the music, they talk about the person who died. They talk about a person jumping off a bridge.
Oh, and the lyrics of the song.
No, on the radio when they're in the dining room, and the Barney's hat, or the Bernie's hat, because that's another thing. That's an Easter egg. The Barney's. You said it's a fast food place. It is. He used to work there. It's a chicken place. It's been in 4 different episodes. In Joan of Arc, it was the place that was from season 6. It was the place that Joan got all the fast food, and you could see like all the containers said Barney's on them. I'm going to kind of like solve this little mystery that's going on here. There are 2 versions of Bête Noire going around. One version has them thinking it's Bernie's that's the real name, and Barney's that it got switched to, and the other one is that Barney's and then it got switched to Bernie's, like opposite. Okay, but if you go through the other, you've watched all of the episodes. So Joan of
Yes.
Arc, there's the fast food when she's trying to appease herself by eating junk food because her life is falling apart. It's from Barney's. Okay, in White Christmas, John Hamm, one of the antagonists, starts reminiscing about the best chicken he ever ate from Barney's. Okay,
Oh.
and then in Metalhead, in the episode of Metalhead, there's a Barney's menu laying on the table.
You're so
So
much better than this than I am. You're so much better at this than I am, because I have seen
no,
every episode, and
no,
I
I'm not.
always
No,
see
I'm
it.
not. I hang out with a bunch of geeks, and I go into the Reddit and I research it like hell. Believe me, I didn't pick up all of these on my own. people left me crumbs and I just followed them because no, but I was looking because of this whole big thing of people that are watching this episode together, like, or just saw it, like you're talking to your friend that saw it the night before, and they're like, yeah, it's Bernie's, and they go, what are you talking about? It's Barney's. And they're like, no, I saw it switched over to the, and there's actually two. They purposely did that. We're getting gaslit just watching the episode, is what I'm telling you, cats. Like, it's such a gaslighting episode that Brooker took it a step forward and put that little twist in there, kind of like a Bandersnatch thing, where everybody gets a different version. There's two.
That's clever.
That's cheeky. I don't know about clever, but he was working my last nerve with that one. Actually, I was just like, what about that? Well, what a way to tie in the Easter egg too, to make us all try to figure out which one's the real one. Now we all saw that Barney's hat, or at least if you had the one version, you saw the Barney's hat on the dining room table in the opening scene. And that's where he used to work.
Wow.
They Verity twisted somehow. At least Maria thinks it's Verity at this point, or she thinks something's going on. And she actually is so adamant. She turns to the coworkers and goes, no, it's Barney's. I would know. What does she say? Something like, my boyfriend worked there. Like, I would know. He's got a hat and everything. And then she Googles it and it comes up, no, it's Bernie's. And she's like, what? That's what she realizes. Either something's going on here or she's lost her mind. Like, she's like something's like, she looked so shocked. So like, wow.
Well, as the audience watching as well, I wasn't sure, because it is asking that question, isn't it? Like, is she going nuts, or is reality somehow changing? And without winding back and actually looking at his hat at the beginning or whatever to find out, like, you're not sure. But obviously, as the episode goes on and these Mandela effect changes get more and more wild, it becomes obvious, But at that point, it's like, is she actually nuts or not?
Yeah. Yeah, well, once the Bernie's thing happens, like, she's really starting to get paranoid. That's when things really start to escalate, because Verity Green is getting more popular at work. She's friendly. They show us clips of everybody smiling. She's passing out cookies. It's a food place. She's passing out cookies, and stuff like that. And everything that Verity does irks Maria. Like, she can't even walk into the building and say good morning, and Maria's got this look on her face like she just doesn't belong there. She's just so uncomfortable around her. And at first, you just really don't figure it out until she starts talking to her boyfriend at home again and talks about high school and about this terrible rumor, right? That was spread about Verity Green, about something with a teacher, and they nicknamed her the milkmaid or whatever. And it was like, so upset. She felt bad for her, but like, all throughout she's going, but kids will be kids. Like, kids are so horrible. Like, we must have heard that like at least a dozen times throughout the show. Like, oh, kids are just terrible. Like, it's just like a school thing, that was then. But there's just something there, because when she's telling the story, she's also digging into everything she can about Verity. She's looking at her resume to figure out where she's been, why is she there, That's another Easter egg. When she pulls up the resume, when she pulls up the resume, she used to work at a place called Wayhaven something. And in the episode for Shut Up and Dance, that's the name of the chain of hotels that is being decrepit. Like, it's like there's so many links to other episodes in this, and I had to warn you, there is something in every, and I'm going to challenge you to this because you say you watch all the episodes. I want to hear from you later when I'm going to invite you back when we do the summary of the whole season. I'm going to try to bring everybody that co-hosts together, because there is one thing in every episode of season 7 that is the same. One item.
Is it? Can I guess now?
Yeah, you can.
No, I can't because I've only seen 2 episodes of it so far. I've seen 3.
I've only deep dived into 2, so like I don't know either, but I think I know where he's going with it, but I don't actually want to say that because to think that you know where Charlie Brooker's going with anything, like trying to get into that mind, that's a dangerous place to be. Like I'm just I don't want to go there. Well, hey Charlie and Mouse, thanks for joining us. And Quiz, good to see you. Happy Mother's Day, Mouse. It's Mother's Day here in America. I
Oh,
know
right.
yours.
Happy Mother's Day,
Yeah,
everyone.
yours was earlier, wasn't yours in April? Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, we had ours a few weeks ago.
Yeah. Well,
So.
Charlie says Metalhead is his all-time favorite. It's an excellent episode, Charlie. I like Metalhead too.
Which one was that? Which I'm not sure with the titles. Which one was Metalhead?
Is that the one with the electric? Was that the one with the mechanical dogs that were chasing everybody, Charlie? Just remind me, because they all start to blur together. I'll have to go look for a synopsis. I do believe it is, though. It's kind of dystopian. It's the end of the world, and there's these attack dog-like things that are going after everybody. I think that's the one.
Yeah, I seem to remember
Yep.
that one.
Charlie says, "Yep, I got it. I got it. Yep, that's the one." And it's the worst ending on the planet. It's the worst ending in the whole Black Mirror universe. Sorry, Charlie. I love the episode, but that messed me up. that ending messed me up. Most of these episodes do for a little while, in a good way. I like to be challenged and entertained with this stuff, and it really does. So we're at the point where we know something's going on there at work. Do you want to say what happens next? Like she's already talked about being uncomfortable, and she's brought in the whole scenario about the high school, and she's now checking this woman out a little bit more and starting to think about it a little bit more.
She is now. I've got to be careful how I word this because the bullying you talked about. I've got to be careful because I don't want to get your channel in trouble by saying what she did. So maybe
you realize my channel.
It.
I don't know. You realize my channel's always in trouble. Like it's
okay. I'll be as I'll dance around it as much as I can. But the rumor, the rumor, it turns out.
I already said it. She was having an affair with the teacher.
Oh, I was going to be a bit more specific about the rumor, about what happened in the cupboard.
Well, I did say what her nickname was. I think they could all like
the milk. Yeah, we'll just leave it there. The milk. Yeah. I don't want to get into any.
Hey, kids will be kids. They're cats. What can I say? And especially high school kids. Like I don't know. Of course, everybody knows what happened in the closet. Like,
so
I think.
So we're at the bit then. She's noticing these Mandela effects. That things just. She's having conversations with Verity, and then she seems to, she'll come away from these conversations seeming to think that she's kind of understood everything that's happened. And then what happens next kind of counteracts that. I've not explained that very well. So here's an example. They're talking about a recipe for like a vegan type of chocolate bar, and they want like a substitute for animal gelatin. I can't remember the exact name.
That's right, and because he doesn't have beef, doesn't eat beef gelatin, the company boss.
Exactly.
Right.
Was it a vegetarian thing or a religious thing?
It is. It's a religious thing, I believe, just based on seeing the gentleman afterwards and his demeanor and everything, and that it was really important. But it was carrageenan they wanted to use instead, which is a plant-based gelatin used like a lot. Well, yeah.
So, Marie sent the email to Verity, didn't she, saying this is what you need to use, like carrot, instead of the beef.
We watched that. They very, very explicitly. This is the part where the director of this episode is Toby Haynes, and in this scene here, he specifically spent some time about this substitution, like they're going, like it was a long time, because she's actually talking about spelling it. She goes through the whole thing. She spells her the word. She tries to act like she doesn't know what she's saying, blah, blah, blah. So she's like, just forget about it. I'll send you an email. Like, and it was like, it just went on. Like, I'm like, this scene should have took 3 seconds. Like, why is this going so long? I'm like, she getting set up here, right?
Well, this was the reveal to us, wasn't it? The reveal to it was just saying to everybody, she's not going nuts. There is something at play, because like I said, it focused so much on that. And then later on, when actually that type of gelatin wasn't used, and they checked into the emails she sent, the emails didn't show that she'd asked for, and I can't pronounce it. Carragina, is it? Or
yeah, Carragina. Yeah, I mean that's what I said. Carragina or Carragina. Yeah, it's like
But we knew at that point that she had sent the email, and you know, the wrong ingredients had been put into the candy bar for this bloke, and but we knew at that point that something funny was going on. But because she was an IT expert, this Verity, we just thought, well, she's trying to get her own back at Maria, and maybe she's hacking the emails. You know, we didn't quite know at that point where it was going to go, but we knew it was like some kind of bunny boiler type revenge scenario.
Yeah, because Maria is confident. Let's look at the email, because when the boss is like, you know, they figure it out. Oh my God, like because the email went, like it was part of production. It goes back to the people that do the recipe for her and all, because Maria is the one like that creates the recipes. Like she's like the chocolatier designer. And Verity is of course the assistant for the department and handles like getting those orders or getting those ingredients list over to production, the actual cook. And they're all there when the boss comes in to taste it. Right. And Maria starts saying, oh, well, we used a plant-based whatever. And you see the look on the face of the person who prepared it going, what? Like, you know, you can see that she's getting really nervous because she knows this man just ate beef or pork.
Yeah.
Like it's not pork, but it's beef. And he doesn't do that. And she's getting all nervous. And so as soon as he goes to leave, she's like, no, it was beef. All you specified was no pork gelatin. She's like, no, I didn't. And they go back and forth. She starts looking at Verity, and Verity's just got that at this point, every time Verity smiles, I get the creeps, because she's got this dead face with this little grin. And I'm just like looking so innocent. And I'm like, what? Damn, they're just like, you know, she's doing it, but how is she doing it? Like, how is she doing it? And so Maria flips thinking, I emailed her. I covered my butt. I know this girl's shady and I covered myself. Like I put it in black and white. And she goes to get the email and she's grabbing that damn pendant, rubbing it and saying the words in the email says, no pork. Right? It was like, how it's like the Bernie's thing all over again. Like she's so sure. She goes to the computer to check and it's not. So she's, like you said, she's thinking, this is a computer genius. She just hacked my life. Exactly. Like she just hacked my life. She changed my email. She doesn't think that she's changing at this point, shall we say, reality. Like she doesn't think it's that bad. She just thinks she's messing with her with the technology, because she's got the Bernie's thing, you know, she's got the all of a sudden appearing on the list. Maybe she altered it in the middle of the night, whatever. She hacked the computer, whatever. And she's got all of these things related to a computer instances. She's not thinking, I mean, who would you? I wouldn't automatically come to think anything else.
No, it was a bit of a twist. The twist was a twist. I was thinking it was a bit more grounded. But what I like about this part of the episode is as well, obviously all the team are, because they are seeing the evidence that would lean to Verity. Whenever Verity looking at Maria, and the rest of the team aren't looking, she's got that really sinister smirk. You know, just like between the two of them, she's letting her know, you know, I've got you here, but the team aren't seeing that, and it must, not only will Maria be confused, but she'll be absolutely livid. Like she'll be furious. She'll want to beat the crap out of her.
Oh, she's boiling, and you can see she's getting paranoid. She's starting to act irritated in front of all her coworkers. She's being erratic. Like they're like, look, it's there. Like everybody makes mistakes, whatever. Like, are you okay? Like, they're starting to give her the side eye. Like, you okay? Like, you need a break? Like, it's a vacation time? Like, the stress. And then it gets even worse. Like she's accusing her. She practically attacks her. They bring him into the office to talk. And like, even the way her demeanor, she's being there all calm. And the guy thinks she's yelling because Verity said, "Oh, stop yelling! Like, why are you yelling at me?" And she didn't even say a word yet. And like, I'm just like, now you're like, "Well, that ain't the computer, boo. That ain't the computer. Like, what's going on here? Why is he thinking she's being so crazy while she's just sitting there? Like they're all starting to look at Maria like she's a major problem."
Well, that's it, and that is the plan, isn't it? To drive her crazy, as we find out later on, to the point where she's going to question everything and end up wanting to kill herself. She just and it works. I was getting infuriated on her behalf watching it, thinking just punch her in the face.
Yeah, because he brought her into the office without Verity to say, I see you have an issue with Verity. Like, you got to give her a chance. She's really working out here. We all like her. Like, I don't know what it is, but, she puts it on Maria, so she's got that going on when she goes back out there, and she's totally knows that this is not wrong. Her life is upside down now. What was like, we start the episode with everything being idyllic. She's got the best job. Like, she loves what she does. She gets along with everybody at work. She's really kind of high up there in the company. She's got a whole team with her and everything. In all of this, everything's going great with the boyfriend, But then when she comes home after this episode, right? After this incident, she tries to tell him about it. And he looks at her. I got creeped out when he looked at her with those VR glasses on with the big eyeball. Like, I just lost it. Like, okay, because that reminded me of Striking Vipers. Like, those glasses were definitely the VR glasses from Striking Vipers. With one of my favorite episodes was Striking Vipers. Just the concept of being able to go into a video game and being whoever you want just blew my mind. Like, that would be like so cool. But he's even starting to look at her like she's getting a little too excited, about stuff. She just basically shuts him down and goes, just go back and play your video game. Just let me be. Like, just, that's it. Like, but she's starting to just, just be really tense about it. Like something's going on. And it's really starting to bug her. And when you take into consideration what was going on in high school and why, I keep wondering, why is she so uncomfortable? Like, I know all of this is going on, but what is it like between these two? Like, I'm thinking, like, did somebody cover up a murder? Because, of course, it's all about serial killers with me and like murder trials. So just like, was there some deep, dark secret? Like, is that going to be the twist? I'm like, just questioning like I do when I watch these. Like, okay, Charlie, what are you up to? Like, come on, what are you doing here? Where's this going? So she goes to work early the next day. And things really heat up, huh?
The almond milk, yeah. Well, because that next day, I forget the name of the one, but she'd said early on in the episode that somebody keeps taking my almond milk from the fridge.
Yep. That's the Raymond almond milk. Let me just give you the Easter egg for this one. You'll like this. Raymond is the lead character in one of the other episodes from Men Against Fire. It's one of the characters there. They're named Raymond. But it's also the milk that Daly drinks in USS Callister all the time. Like that Raymond milk brand. Yeah, that's the Easter egg too for all of you following the Easter eggs. But things get really crazy. It starts though with the fact that when she gets in there and there's nobody in, right? She thinks she's early. There's nobody in the office, right? She doesn't think there is anyway, right? I'll let you take it from there because I could.
Well, she goes in, doesn't she? She's trying to do a little bit of investigation, and then Verity comes in, and they kind of front out the little argument, don't they? And Verity takes the almond milk and just starts drinking it, and in a really odd way. It's all dripping down her face, and then she just drops the thing on the floor.
The way she looked at her, right, was like total detest. Like this was it. She was full on. This was the confrontation. She looked at her like, it's on.
Yeah.
It's on. I'm drinking the almond milk, babe. Like and she takes the lid off and drops it like all slow, like out of her hand, like, how you like that? Just like, what is going on here? Almond milk.
Well, but the look on her face as well when she's doing it, like I say, she is. It sounds odd. Like, how can you challenge somebody to a fight by drinking milk? But it looked that's how it looked.
Exactly. It was it's on. Like, come on. Like, come on. I'm drinking the milk. What you gonna do about it? Like, it was definitely a throwdown. Yeah. It's kind of silly, but it was.
It was a good moment. It was a good moment. Then everybody else comes in, don't they? And obviously the milk is found, and it's a case of who's drunk it. And you think, well, it's very, Verity drunk it, but Verity's saying no, it's Maria. And it turns out Maria has a nut allergy. So how can it be me? Because I've got a nut allergy. I couldn't drink it. And this was brilliant. When they go to check the CCTV footage to see who drunk the milk, and I'll let you explain this bit, but it was just, I thought this was really where it started to exponentially get weirder and weirder.
First, she's completely knocked off her rocker when all of the people that work with her, if she says she has a nut allergy, and they all go, a nut allergy, as if nut allergy doesn't even exist. Like, the words are foreign. Like, they've never heard that in their whole life. They don't even know what a nut allergy is. It doesn't even exist in their plane of reality whatsoever. And she's just stopped dead. Like, what? And then she's like, let's look at the CCTV. Like, they've got, no, actually the boss says, you're acting crazy. Like, you're acting like, okay, you guys are upset. Like, one said one did it, one said the other did it, because they're blaming each other. And, well, actually, Verity's not blaming anybody. She's like, me? What? What would I do? With the all like, oh, I'm so upset I'm being blamed. Like, she was over the top with the innocent thing. And Maria looks like a nut, like out of control. She's dealing with the fact that she has a nut allergy. She couldn't have drank the milk. She knows all of this, or she thinks she knows all of this, because nobody else is even acknowledging a nut allergy exists.
Not even Google.
Yeah.
Even Googled it, yeah. It's just not there.
It's just not there. Again, the computer messing up. And we forgot the part where everybody was there early. Maria thinks she's there so early, but everybody was there early because there was an email for an 8 a.m. meeting. And this is why the boss is like a little bit like, Maria, are you okay? Because she didn't even come to the meeting. She didn't, and she was early. And they all come in after. And he's like, all right, we have a camera. We'll just settle this. We'll watch the footage. He brings the two of them in there. They watch the footage. And Maria's drinking the milk. Like, the whole thing is switched. Like, we saw, as the viewers, we saw Verity drinking the milk. We see what she's doing. But when you watch the video footage, it's Maria. And that's when you know, oh, man, we're in La La Land now, man. Something really going on here. Total gaslit. Like, but why? Why is she doing this?
But I like the way it built it from that, because all these little Mandela effect moments, they started off small, the Bernies to the Barneys, and you think, oh, could I have just misremembered that? And by the time we get to this episode, like, it's just complete fantasy, it's just got bigger and bigger, and now we know in the audience, like, we know we're in, like you said, some weird Twilight Zone shit, it's.
Right. We've seen a complete change in Maria. Maria, confident, loves her job, goes in. Nobody's going to tell her anything about anything. She knows what she's doing. She was a very confident person. She didn't seem, like anybody. And you could see like how she challenges them, like with the Bernies, and she's like, "No, I know. Like, come on, let's Google it. Like, I know you people are crazy." Is she going to tell a group of people they're crazy? Like, she was that confident. I'll tell all of you you're crazy because I'll Google it. It'll be fine. And then finds out it's not. And it's just chipping away at her. And now we see her like completely unsettled, acting very emotional, very like paranoid almost. Like, but we know she's got good reason to be. But everybody there around her has no idea any of this is going on. And they just think she's the problem. Like she's having a mental break. she got off her rocker because they see all of these other Mandela effects as being real instead of what Maria sees,
Yeah.
But that was the point right there in the office. And that's the point where he says you're yelling and stuff, and like everything starts to like blow up. And she loses her job, you know.
And like revenge is done at that point, isn't it? Like she's been broken. She's been broken mentally. She's lost a job,
Mm-hmm.
financially. She found out a friend has killed herself, and she's desperate at this point, but wanting some of her own revenge as well, isn't she?
Yes, she is, because when she goes home after being let go, and she tries to call that friend and talks to her spouse, who that's when she
Mm.
finds out that she's no longer alive. And he starts to tell her something that really resonates with her, because he says on the phone, she says how and why. He goes, I don't know. She just started acting really crazy and paranoid and distrusting, and she was saying things that weren't like true, and she was believing things that weren't, like, it was all like crazy and paranoid. And she's going, oh no, like, she starts to think, well, that sounds very much like what's going on with her. It just like, oh my God. And it's got to be Verity. The common thread is Verity, because I do believe that Verity dropped it, that she may have talked to her recently or something.
Yes.
Like there was
Yeah.
that she had talked to the friend recently, or she had seen her. And it's, so she wanted to talk to her about it. Like, what do you think of, like, can you believe this chick is back? Like, should I be worried about this or whatever? Like, she just wanted to connect with her friend, and then she finds out her friend is gone. And that's when I'm thinking, like, when they said that, that's when I went back to what I heard on the radio, and I went, oh, well, they told us, Charlie, as usual, Charlie Brooker told us in the beginning to hold on. This is going to be rough. And I didn't pay attention. I just ignored it, just like everybody else. And then you go back like, yeah, thanks. Like, could you make the little announcements a little bit louder next time, Charlie, so I could really get ready? Because he's always doing that. He leaves you something little in the beginning to give you a hint, but 9 out of 10 times I miss it, and I have to go back and see it later.
It is very clever writing, isn't it? Like you watch an episode of Black Mirror and you think nothing is done by chance. You think even the most
No.
innocuous little line or act or headline on a newspaper you see or whatever, you're constantly thinking, what role is that going to play? What role is that going to play? It keeps you on your toes.
Yeah, it really does. Just like all the little Easter eggs and everything, like just these little things you can go back to. I think that's what makes it timeless when we talk about the series as a whole, the whole Black Mirror thing universe. It's all somewhat interconnected in a way. It's all about, every episode, no matter how you look at it, is about technology in our lives and what humans actually do to it, and whether the problems are good and bad. Advancements in technology, something that's supposed to make our life better, and then it just goes wrong. Like something about it goes wrong. And it's usually how humans use it that is the wrong. It's not the technology itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
In almost every it ends up to be psychologically intense, because you have to start thinking about yourself as a human, and what would you do in these situations, and would that be good, would that be bad? It's really challenging to watch, and entertaining, because it pushes you. It definitely pushes you. Last week's episode, that was a kick in the gut, a total kick in the gut. Like, he totally like got me with that whole episode. The whole setup of it, the whole premise of it was just like, can you just imagine putting yourself in that situation? But just like here, what would you do if you knew somebody was trying to gaslight you and ruin your life and they're being pretty successful? What are you going to do about it? Like, she's lost her job already. It seems like it's already too late. Like, it's done. Like, okay, my great job's gone. Now I'm feeling crazy. My boyfriend's looking at me like I'm crazy because she even said it's Barney's when she came home to look at the hat, and he laughed at her. He goes, "It's Bernie's," and the hat's sitting there. And she almost lost it. Then she's just like, now it's just too much because now it's everywhere. It's home, it's work, it's like it's all of her reality is upside down. What And she hears that her friend is gone, and that her friend isn't just gone, but her friend took her life. She unalived herself over this stuff. And she's like, oh my God. So do you want to tell her what she does? Because this part is intense. Yeah.
Well, it is intense. And at this point, like I say, she's lost everything. Her friend is dead. She feels like she's going nuts. She knows Verity's at the center of it. So there's only one thing she can do, and that's front it out. She's got to find out what's going on. And if necessary, maybe get a little revenge. Who knows what's going through her mind? Mm-hmm. So she goes over to Verity's house. And I think we're all surprised to see that Verity's house is pretty much a mansion. And, she creeps in and she's climbing upstairs. And you can see like huge, almost like royal family, like portraits of Verity being a queen or an astronaut or
a celebrity. Celebrity. She was like on the cover of Time. She was an astronaut. She was like, and then there's the picture of like, Master of the Universe. It like looked like, from He-Man, like with the big star thing behind it. Like, I was just like, what the heck? All pictures of her, like famous people, is like, and the size of it, because like we don't have the pictures up here because this is how I can like cover this completely. As long as I don't put up the images or the audio, they can't do anything to me. In Netflix is mean about that stuff. But she dresses pretty dowdy, Verity. She dresses like old stretched out cardigan, kind of meek. Those are not designer duds that she's wearing, or anything, not expensive jewelry. She just, she just looks like it every day. And that house is ostentatious. I mean, it's a mansion. It's
nothing short of a man. It's like royal worthy, isn't it?
Hollywood movie style, like the old big palatial mansions and everything. And she goes inside. She's just blown away, Well, but she's on a mission, and she's sweaty and she's nervous, and but she's fighting. Like she's like, that's it. Like she challenged me with that almond milk. Like I'm taking her out. Like I'm just like damn. Like she threw down with that almond milk. That's it. Like she was annoyed. But she's also frantic at the same time because she still doesn't know what's going on until she walks down that one hallway. That was amazing.
She does know it's something to do with that necklace. We forgot to say that before. When the CCTV footage changed and we saw Verity speak into that necklace, unless it did say, and I forgot, it clicked that it's so she went in looking for that necklace, didn't she?
She did, but before she gets there, she walks through this big mansion and she gets to this room or hallway of a massive computer system. Do you remember like the blue hole, the blue lights and everything? Yeah. And it just looks like a wall unit, and it's like it just like as if the house is like a computer itself. I mean, it looks huge because she's small in the hallway compared to this thing. Okay, but she knows that necklace, because you're right, when they did the CCTV and she saw it switch, and she saw Verity holding that necklace when she said, why are you drinking the almond milk, or whatever it is that she said, because then she's realizing it has something to do. And she did catch it a couple of times of her doing that, and we saw her do it the minute she walked into the room. Now it's clicking. We see it the minute she walks into the room for the taste testing. We see it the minute they say you're not on the list, and she touches it and says something, and it appears that whatever she says when she touches this pendant changes.
Comes true, yeah. Yeah, becomes reality, doesn't it?
Yeah. So she's looking, like you're right, she's looking for it because she thinks it's it. Like that's the key to everything, right? So
And she does find it, but Verity doesn't give a toss because she's got about 10 more in a box, isn't she? And it only
she's like,
works on her fingerprint.
she puts on her best almond milk drinking face and goes, "It's only a remote." I'm
Yeah.
just like, damn, now what, boo? Like, she's holding it and she's yelling at her because, first of all, she goes in there and like Verity's in the shower, so she was under the bed. Like she found it, and then she's coming out. She gets under the bed. It's all suspenseful, but Verity knows she's there and she calls her out, you know. But the way she just looks at her and goes, "It's just a remote. It's only a remote."
Yeah, very confident, and that just kind of almost took what little bit of hope Maria had left away from her, didn't it? You know, it's only
Yeah.
more. I've got more. I don't care. You know,
The
and it
way
only
she
works
was
for me
holding
anyway.
it, the way she was holding that pendant, pushing it, and saying like I've got it, I got you now, and she's like, it's only a remote, and you could just see like her face just falls. It's just like now what? And she walks over to the bookcase and she opens up a case where you could see like another dozen of these pendants with one missing, and she pulls one out. Apparently, they're fingerprint activated just to Verity. And she starts bragging about this system that she built, this quantum computer, which is also like a little play on words to another episode from oh gosh, from I think it's a Joan is awful, the quantum, where it's the computer, like they kind of smush the words together, the thing that changed everything and put people in the show, you know, in Streamberry, you know, from that episode. And so when she said that, I was like, oh, I've heard this before. This is going to be bad. This is going to be really bad. Like, you know, so this quantum computer, you know, she accuses her of changing reality, and she's like, no, I haven't changed reality. Everything's still the same. It's just I'm just putting you in a different version over here with just us, and we're the only ones here that know that this is all different. Like, so, which was really weird. Like, how does that work? how like that bothered me. I'm like, I you know, like how does that work? How does everything stay the same everywhere else? And then I'll just take you over here and mess with you for a little bit, make you crazy, you know, like
It's odd. You know, I think that obviously they're playing on the idea that there's just an unlimited, infinite number of realities, I suppose. You know, is what they're trying to lead to, and they're just moving from one to the other that fits the exact circumstances she needs. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to dwell on the mechanics of how the device might work because we won't.
It was just crazy. Like to me, I was just like, and she says, no, everything's the same. I just make sure I select the one where what I say is what I want, and you're there. Like that you're in it with me. And it was just, I'm like, okay, no wonder the computer is so big. That must be a tough job. Like, you know, like, you know, okay. So, but she loses it, okay? Because now they start talking about the issue, okay? And they start talking about what it is, the revenge. Like, because now you know, Verity's doing this for revenge. Like, what is it? What is it that Maria could have done in high school that was so bad? Like, she knows about the rumor and thing. And so we find out that Maria actually started the rumor and says it was like and here's what bothered me. She says it was like a joke, like when she started it, and it was the other one who took it and ran with it and turned it into a rumor. Like, even then, with all the guilt she's feeling, and she knows she's kind of brought some of this on herself, she's not being honest about like what she did.
No,
And you start to realize why she's so uncomfortable the minute she sees Verity. Like, this is guilt. Like, this is don't want to remember what I used to be like in high school. Like, I don't want to acknowledge that I was that person. Like, I don't want to take the time to work through that. I just want to pretend it didn't exist. And here's Verity going, oh yeah, it was you. And she tells her that the other one told her that that she got it from her, and she has to deal with it now. It and she doesn't apologize, does she? She doesn't. Nope.
She doesn't. But it's when she's telling her, what I like is she says, yeah, I spoke to your friend, and she said that you were the one who started it, etc. But in that conversation, I like the bit where she says it only took me, I think, what was it, 2 days or something to drive her to suicide. You've lasted a week. How long are you going to last? And then the plan.
She said she took her 5 weeks to drive the other one crazy, but she
5
was
weeks.
Yes, and she said, but you only 5 days. Like she really put it down. Like now I know it's you. You're the weak link because it only took you 5 days, Miss Guilt. Yeah. You know what you did, Miss Guilt. See, like that's what I took from it. Like you're already being eaten up by the guilt. Like this was easy. Like I just had to remind you. Like I just needed to walk in the room. Like you're doing. It was almost like she was saying, "You're doing all of this to yourself too, because like you brought this on."
Yeah, that was a nice little moment. That, but just to see the plan, it's like because up until then I wasn't really sure what the plan was. Obviously, it was some kind of revenge thing, but the plan was, I'm going to make you doubt yourself so much. I'm going to make you go so crazy that you're going to kill yourself.
Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah, but she made a critical mistake. The one that we all make. You underestimate your opponent. Well, just when you think you know, you don't know. Like the best thing you can do is just think you don't know, because you start acting like you do, and you miss it because Maria is like, oh, you got her to do that, and she's like, all of a sudden it clicks. I'm not doing that. Like, like now I know it's you. You did this. And why? And she understands, like she's starting to deal, like she's a little shaky. You can see that she's shaky because she knows what she did and it's out there, and she has to face Verity that yes, she did it, because she did all along feel for her. She always said things like she was a little weird, she was in the computer room, but people picked on her, but kids will be kids, but they really shouldn't have did that. She was always like, they should have left her alone. Like, I feel bad about that. Never owning up that she was a big part of what happened to her. I think she felt guilty all along, even when it happened then. But she herself, when they show pictures of the kids all together, she looked uncomfortable, like she was trying to fit in. Like she was dealing with a bunch of mean girls. And like mean girl crowds can be really mean. You'd say one thing against one of them and then you're out, And she was just trying to get along to get along. That was her way of getting along with starting that rumor. It was funny, or it was started as a joke and it just went. She never told them, don't say that or whatever. She never pushed back against it. She joined it and she helped make it bigger. And you could see all that, but she's all like a little bit disjointed. But then now we're looking at Verity and all the innocence is gone. She is the epitome of a villain at this point. She's acting like every Marvel villain ever. She's telling you what she's going to do to you. She got the look on her face. She looked evil. She starts clutching that pendant, right? And causes like a real problem now, because now she's going to act like she's being attacked. Like she wants something to happen to Maria. So she's got an invasion in her house and she's just like, okay. All of a sudden there's a knife in Maria's hand because she says, you're here to try to kill me and we've called the police. Like, or what? And I was like, what? Like, and now Maria's like freaking out because the police bust in the door, tell her to drop the weapon. Tell her to drop the weapon.
And this is where we get a bit of a badass moment from Marie, because she's been the victim pretty much for the entire episode.
Yeah.
And then the armed police come in and basically arrest it. This is all. It's all over for Marie here. There's nothing that can happen. She's been beat. It's terrible for her. There's nothing she can do. But she's stood in front of this armed policeman, and she has one last bit of hope. And she reaches behind, doesn't she, and pulls the policeman's gun out the holster, and
She does, because she knows something bad's going to happen with these cops. If Verity is in control, she could at any moment, right? She could say, you're resisting arrest, you punched the officer, you've already killed somebody. No matter what, she could say anything and they're going to believe it. So she's desperate. And to do what she did, and the way she did it and the look on her face, I was like, there's the high school girl.
Yeah.
There's the mean girl. This is what she was afraid of. She could do this. She not gonna let anybody take anything away from her. She is gonna put herself first. And she doesn't care what happens to the other person. She shot her straight out, boom. Okay. But the cops see her shoot her, and they're still in the reality where she's the bad guy. Okay. So this is bad. Like, I'm getting nervous here. I don't know about you, but I'm getting nervous for Maria here, because now she just shot her in front of the cops.
And they're only in a small, well, it's not a small room, but she can't run away. They're in a bedroom, and the policemen are stood by the door.
Mm-hmm.
So you end up with like this shootout almost, or the police trying to shoot her in a room. You know, she jumps behind the bed. How's she going to get out of that? It was, that's quite a nice little claustrophobic moment.
Mm-hmm.
But what she did next was pretty brilliant.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna let you tell them, because the shootout had me really nervous, because they're at the bed. She like at the door towards the bed. She's behind the bed. She's shooting at them. They're shooting back. I'm like, this is bad. Like, there's pieces of the wall. They're shooting all over. This is bad. Like, there's two of them. There's one of her. What is she gonna do? Like, this is gonna be a tragic ending. I'm like thinking to myself, Charlie, you better not. Like, you better not, Charlie. Like, stop it. Like, it better be something else. Don't be, because my brain already thinks it's over. Like, it's over.
She's going to get shot. That's it. It's going to be another tragic ending, like the last episode. But she looks at the dead body of her old school friend, who's clutching the remote control that only works for her because it's, like, say, fingerprint sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
And she runs over and she squeezes her thumb onto the device to activate it, and then tells the remote, like, you work for me now. Mm-hmm. So Marie now has the power of the reality changing device, and the police leave, and she abuses the power.
Yep. Well, she tells the police, like, you witnessed it. She attacked me. Like, yeah. And she does that. And then this is what really gets me. She says, you worship me. Like, this is the part that gets me. This is what Charlie does all the time. Human nature, right? You got two choices here. You change the reality back to where you owned up to your mistakes, you get your job back, everything's fine. She has the opportunity to put everything back. No. What does she do? She goes into superpower mode. You worship me. I am now master of the universe. Like, instant villain. We go from terrorized, main character to instant villain. And then you see how Verity got there too, because Verity, with all that power, built that computer to do this, never went back to high school to change the story.
No.
Okay. No. Neither did Maria. Like, if the catalyst is what happened in high school to make all of these bad things happening in your life, why don't, because one of the key parts of the conversation in the bedroom was Verity telling her, I've done all these things and great, and it never went away. It never went away. What you did, like that thing that happened in high school, never went away. I always felt it. I couldn't get away from it. She was master of the universe, an astronaut. She was a celebrity. She had famous dinners, all this African safaris, whatever it was. And she just tells her it never went away. Like, and I'm like, why didn't you just push the button and make it go away? Like, why didn't you become class valedictorian or class president or head cheerleader? Like, you could have pushed the button and been any of that.
Power and revenge. And that was a good like you said before, it's not about the technology; it's about how you use it, and
Exactly.
it's human nature exposed. It's power and revenge
the
rather
the
than
dark side. Yeah,
yeah.
how easy it is it's always easier for that dark to take over. It's probably harder to figure the light side of it, like the best scenario. The easy one is I'll be master of the universe. That'll fix everything. I'm like, oh my god, you know. But it was just twisty. But what did you think about that look on Maria's face at the end when she's like master of the universe and everybody's bowing down to her and saying her name? Because it's like a real quick flash that they give us. Like it's over quick.
Oh,
Once she takes
she's just become
control of the pendant.
yeah, she's
Yeah.
become a completely different person at that point. Instantly. All she's thinking is about how she can rule. You can see it, like those eyes. It's like what am I going
Mhm.
to do now? And to take charge. It's yeah. She's instantly a different person.
Yeah, and it's you could see it on her face. She actually looks different to me. Like I could see the mean girl from high school. Like
Yeah,
all along, I wasn't seeing the mean girl from high school. I saw like somebody who just was a victim of the situation almost. Like she was carried along into it. And now she's suffering the consequences for just going along. But she really wasn't part of the problem. And then when I see that look at the end on her, I'm like, no, she started that rumor to just like get up. Like she's one of like she'll step on your neck to get ahead. Like that's her. She would. And then I'm starting to notice all during the interactions, she was so she was she really like Verity just did something the minute she came in that just put her off guard. She did not trust her at all. Like she was looking at her like she was sketchy from the start. She was looking for something. Like
yeah,
it, she didn't want her to get the job. She was just like she even went to the boss, right? And said like, "There's no job available." And then found out, "Oh yeah, there is." So she's like, "What?" You go, "Yeah, but why her? Why food? She's a computer geek from
mm,
high school." Like her, and that's when she was looking through the resume, and nothing about the computers is on there. Like, you know, and everything starts to get weird. But like, she didn't trust her from the start. Like, she was looking at her like
Well,
sketchy.
or like you say, or did she just not want to face her because of what she did? Did she just have that guilt for the bullying?
I, when I
Um,
look when I look back, I totally think that she's been guilty about that. She knew right from as soon as she saw her, all of that guilt and what she did came right from because she did have more of an active role in it
mm,
than she's like saying out loud to her boyfriend or to Verity herself. Like she obviously had much more to do with it than that because she's got such a thing about it. Like she did. She don't want anybody to know. I mean, you got this great job and all. You want people to know you were the mean girl in school. Everybody thinks she's great. You know?
exactly. Yeah, you
Yeah.
want that left in the past, don't you?
Yeah.
So it was, yeah, her arrival threatened her reputation, even if she hadn't have had the ability to do what she did. Verity,
Right.
the arrival did, threatened her reputation, and
Mhm.
it was all going to be very uncomfortable from the start. It was well written. I really enjoyed it. Actually, I really
It,
enjoyed
it
it.
is because all through it, she's still stubborn enough to not admit it. Right up to the end. Maria, right now, in whatever alternate reality she's sitting in, is still not admitting what she did, actually, the full thing that she did in high school. She's
Yeah.
not owning it at all. She's not taking any accountability for it at all. It was everybody else. Like it was the other girl. It was like the situation. It was because you were weird. Like,
Mm.
she that's how she talked to her boyfriend about it. That's how she even talked to Verity about it. Like it's you, not me. She never took accountability for it, which I found very, very interesting the way that it was laid out. Because you
Yeah.
would think she's so good, like everybody likes her at work. She seems so genuine. She's funny. But you also see every time they challenge her, she's adamant. She's like, "Oh no, not me. This is the answer. I'm right. You're wrong." She's very stubborn. She's very You know, that's all coming out every time Verity changes the situation. She goes to the wall. No, I'll just look it up. This is the way it is. You people, she'll go against a whole room full of people. You're wrong. I'm right. It's like, and she did that all the way to the end. Like, nope, you're not going to make me admit that I did this. You know, and that was kind of how the paranoia got to be so bad, because she's just, if she would have just admitted it, I don't think she could have done the paranoia thing with her as bad, because part of the freak out was that everybody was going, nobody believed her. Everybody thought there was something wrong with her. Nobody's believing her about anything anymore. She's not the, she's, they're not taking her seriously. Like, she can't say anything about Verity. They all think she's off her rocker. Oh no, not Verity. She's the nicest person on the planet. Who are you? Like, you're a problem. Why are you acting like this? Like, calm down. You know.
Yeah, she was held. She'd made herself so popular with everybody else, and I think that was a painful thing as well, because Maria knew, she knew, she, you know, what she'd done to Verity, and she didn't want to ground as a but she also knew that she was good at her job, and she was correct on a lot of the things that she was saying, but nobody else could see it. And this one person she didn't want to be there was being held up as, like, you know, a virtuous beacon of brilliance. Exactly. You know, and it's just like, this is just bizarre. It was good. It was nice.
It's ironic. He uses that irony there, that here is this person, like this beacon of goodness, like you said, this like friendly, you know, everybody thinks she's got all this going on, Verity, and yet Maria knows that that's what she wanted. She made that joke to gain popularity with that group. She made that joke to fit in and to be the one that everybody liked and everybody thought was funny and charming. And here it is, all that's going to get taken away because she's walking in and she's like, no, but you're not, because I already made that joke about you, and you're the one who was messing with the teacher, and you're the one. You're the one that was the computer geek and nobody liked. Like, you're not allowed to walk into my life and act like that's not how it is. Like, I made it like that back then. Like, you can't do that. It's just like, and she just refused to give it up, you know. But damn, the acting was really good, especially the Verity, the actress that played Verity, Rose McEwen. She really played that good girl, bad girl, that evil look in the bedroom.
Yeah.
The drinking of the almond milk.
Yeah, that was good.
I mean, there's milk pouring down her face, and she never took her eyes off her the whole time. And then she throws it on the ground. And it's just like, and everybody just walks in right then. And in that scene, Maria thinks, oh, I'm golden. They saw that. Like, she's like, oh, we're done. Like, she's standing right there with the almond milk. Like, no. Like, she's going to get caught now. Like, they're going to know it's Verity. It doesn't go that way at all.
That just adds to the impact, because, you know, there were a couple of times, you know, especially with the CCTV, etc., where she thinks, I'm going to be proved right. I'm going to be proved right. And there's no possibility that I'm not going to be proved right here. And then you prove wrong. And like, those blows when you are the most confident are the hardest to take, aren't they?
Yeah. You know, and they do that a little bit, keeping us off guard too. I found with the cinematography, I'm always amazed at how Charlie Brooker, like, I must say this in every episode, he brings together teams with their skills and he tells them like his vision for it, and he just has people that actually work that vision in visually with all the like with everything, like they get it all working together with such gel. And the cinematography in this one is kind of like a little bit of a throwback with the lighting and the austerity of it. Some of the quietness of the scenes, like the stillness of it, like when people are walking in like the scene we were just talking about with the almond milk, and Verity slowly walking away, and Maria's standing there thinking this is it, like they're gonna know, and they're all coming in, but it's slow and quiet, and there's not a lot of, you know, there's not a lot going on except for the tension, the tension of it, which they gave to us visually. But what really unsettled me and kept me on end was those damn day panels. Like boom, Monday, boom, Tuesday. What was that? Like,
I think that was just to show how quickly she could be got at. I think, just that we see the first day, and then the next day she's already almost losing her mind. And I think that was.
But the way they did it, it was like I was getting a jump scare like every time they did it because I wasn't ready for like just the way they popped it in and how like it took over the whole screen and it was just like boom, like that kind of unsettled me. I'm like, all right, you did that on purpose, and now I want to know why, and I can't figure out why. Like I have to ask everybody, like why? Like you said, it's probably just to get the days there, you know. But we did that with the showing up to work every day or going home. Like, yeah. So, like, no, I think he's trying to smack us, to tell you the truth. This thing, the cinematographer and the director said, yeah, this ought to be a little unnerving. Yeah, let's do this. Well,
it was. While I think on, I want to say this before we close up, in case I forget. One of the episodes in this season is a sequel to Bandersnatch.
Yeah, is it to Bandersnatch? I
Yes.
know there's one. Okay, which one is that?
That was the interactive one-off.
Yeah, that we did, like the movie. Yes, with the different endings. Yes, we did the whole thing. Mm-hmm.
Now, I've not seen it, so there's no spoilers or anything like that. But before, when you were telling me that they released two versions of this, with the Bernie's Barney's the other way around, so quite clever.
Mm-hmm.
The Bandersnatch one, obviously, is about the guy who writes a computer game. Now, I've downloaded on my phone. There's a Black Mirror have actually released an app of the game that is going to feature.
Oh, Throngs. Yes, the Throngs game. Yeah.
The Throngs. Oh, you know about that? Okay, because I've not played it yet, but I believe it's in that.
Throngs is the game. One of the games the guy in Bandersnatch was writing. Like that goes like all the way back to that. It actually does. Yeah.
Well, I've got it on my phone, and you play
it. Fun?
Well, yeah. I've not opened it yet because I don't know whether to do it before I watch the episode or after. But apparently, the game itself is also like a Black Mirror episode. It's so I'm interested. It's been written in a way that's going to get weird as you play.
I'm going to have to. How do you get it? You get it on your phone? You go to the App Store and look for it?
Just on the App Store, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to have to do that. I have not got there yet. Now I have to figure out which episode is it? Like 3, 4, 5, or 6? I don't know. It's not 6 because 6 is the sequel to the USS Callister.
It's got to be 3, 4, 5, isn't it? 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, 3, 4, 5. Okay, well, I'm gonna download it tonight and play it. I know someone else, Rocket Couch, was telling me that the game was available and he had been playing it, and it was like really cool, like to have that interaction, like with the whole thing. Well, that reminds me of some of the other what we call Easter eggs that I had found.
Oh yeah, let's do these because I'm rubbish at spotting.
When Verity's sitting in the office, over her shoulder is a poster of Gemini Orbit. It's the poster, and that's from Beyond the Sea, season 6, episode 3. It's the doomed spacecraft that was like floating around. That's the name of it, Gemini Orbit.
Is that the one that had the two people on who had like the avatars on Earth?
Yeah. Yeah, right. Like where they could like be there but not there. Like, oh, that was the technology. I mean, when he talks about this futuristic technology, I'm always going like, wow, that would be so great. Can you just imagine your life? Like, wouldn't that be fun, or wouldn't that be something like? But then it always goes wrong. It always goes wrong, in some way. But it's not the tech. Like I said, it's not the technology. But one of the worst episodes for me was Hated by the Nation with those mechanical bees. Those bees terrorize me to this day. They were the bees. They solved the problem of bees pollinating the world, like dying off, by making mechanical bees that could do that. And they were hacked by a person who uses them for revenge. And these bees would like crawl up your nose and go into your brain and kill you. Yes. The bees were a beautiful thing. Why couldn't they leave it? No, I have to be terrorized for the rest of my life about these damn bees because some man needed revenge and he just hacked into the computer system and used them for violence and gore. But that's how it goes. Like, we've dealt with death and trauma and like all these situations in these Black Mirror episodes, and there's always a technology to maybe make it better. The one that gets rid of memories or saves memories, the one that brings a person back, their personality for you to deal with grief, the one we just saw where you could extend your life with your personality if you could stand all the commercials and the stuff like which kind of crazy like that I did enjoy that episode. The ending just blew me away, but like I did enjoy that episode, but it's very sad ending. It's a very sad ending.
I watched that thinking it was episode. No, I didn't. Sorry, that was episode 1, wasn't it, of this season?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was episode 6. I actually started watching the sequel to the Callister because I was
Right.
going bottom up on Netflix. And then when we said, "Oh, do episode 2," I watched the next one up, which was actually episode 5. I was like, "Not episode whatever it was, episode 6."
I heard that one's really good. Like I can't wait to watch. I watch that one in real depth. I actually thought you would want to do the Callister one. I thought you would be more interested in the Star Trek one, but I'm glad you did this one. Because you really watched it, like you really got into it. There was only a couple more of the I think I told you about the name of the computer that's from Jones, the Quantum, but the products that they were dealing with in the beginning, there's the there's the bag of Passett crisps that they're working on, and it's on the computer, and they're talking about it in one of the meetings when things are going great before Verity shows up, and that's actually the name. That's actually the name of the department store from Demon 79 from season 6. That Possets, so they threw that name in there. Apparently Dita, the name of this chocolate company that she works for, is coming up in a lot of season 7 episodes. It gets mentioned. It was mentioned in the first episode, when she's teaching and she starts doing the ad, when she does the ad for Honey Nugs, and she talks about by Dita, and everything's by Dita, and there's that little stickers at work, a Dita sticker at work at the guy's job and stuff like that. So like Charlie's really, he's upped the Easter eggs, and he's made the Easter eggs retroactive. Like he's taking Easter eggs from the current episodes and putting them all in the current season before you get to the episode, and then you're like, wait a minute, I saw that and that one over there. It's like, I'm like, you're really upping it up on here. You're making us pay like way too much attention here. But there was one more thing, Lacey's licorice rolls, which I thought, it's not definite, but like Lacey's licorice rolls, and they could bother to talk about it, and they made it prominent. And I'm thinking, well, that's the main character from Nosedive, Lacey.
Oh, right. Yes.
Nosedive was like a great episode, like one of my favorites. But I actually have a lot of fun doing the Easter eggs, and I found one that nobody's talking about that I think is very pertinent to the episode. But I don't know. I'm going to run it by you. I could be way off. So please, chat, if I'm crazy, go ahead and say so. I could take it. And cats, give me your honest opinion. But the security guard at Dita, the one that's on the floor with them, okay, the guy with the white shirt, his name is Doc Brown.
So you're thinking Back to the Future?
Yes, isn't that the name of the guy from Back to the Future? And I'm like, time warping. I'm like, okay, we're time warping. We're going all over the place. I said, how cheeky of you, Mr. Brooker. Like, I see you, Mr. Doc Brown over there watching everything going on in the corner. Like, okay, I see you. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he'd name him that by accident. That's got to be deliberate.
Oh, good. Okay, good. I feel pumped up now. Because I haven't heard anybody mention that one, in my research so far. But yeah, Harlow, that's one of my favorites, Nosedive. Because that whole episode was pink. That's when I really started to get into the cinematography and started rewatching everything and noticing how his teams just put everything together like just right. And like I said, the feel of this one was modern, but not at all. Okay. Oh, the high school they went to. Colesworth Manor High School. That's the name of the town where they shot White Bear. Colton.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you picked these up or did you Google these? Because this
No.
is good. I never would have got these.
75% of them I Googled. Doc Brown, I found myself. Okay, the quantum computer one, I kind of put that together from Jonas Arc, just the name. It's kind of smushed together, like very much. And no, the other ones were all like with Google, like just doing research, just watching other people's reviews. I read what Charlie Brooker says about the episode. He definitely calls it a gaslight parable. Like it's a gaslighting parable, and it's meant to put us on in. And he wants us to get into the bowels of like, what would we do? And is it all about guilt, or is it just about winning, revenge? You know, um, and try to put yourself in both characters' positions. In none of them look good. Like neither character. Like I can't. I don't have a lot of sympathy for either one of them, to tell you the truth, because in the end, when it came to putting your fingerprint on that pendant, they both became master of the universe.
They did. And will she go on in the future and create a reality where she then finds a version of Verity and torments her again? Who knows?
I probably, because like, didn't Verity already explain to her that she's been everywhere and done everything and it didn't make it better?
Exactly.
And that's why she's doing revenge. So she heard all that. She's been in that with her, and she still pushed the button and said, I have the power now.
Yeah.
And I can't help it. All I thought of was He-Man, like those, but I did, like, that's all I kept thinking of when she pushed that, and then they had the scene, and I'm like, this is so, like, I just keep thinking of that. He-Man, I have the power, totally blew me away. I mean, she could have did something better for her life. Like, I just don't see it ending well, especially the look she had on her face. She was drunk with the glory of the power on her face. Like, she looked like a totally different person, sorta. Like I said, I saw the Mean Girl, seriously saw the Mean Girl. But this was fun. This was fun.
It was. It was a good episode. It was a good episode. I'm glad we did this one.
So if you had to tell anybody, like in just like a couple words, what, like the whole thing, not the storyline, not any of the little parts, but if you had to tell anybody anything about this episode, what would you say?
I'd say it's an episode about what might happen if the Mandela effect is real and spirals out of control, and what might be causing it. But also it's about revenge and abuse of power, isn't it?
Yeah,
and
it
guilt.
is.
And guilt.
I think guilt was a big part of it. I think guilt was the catalyst for getting you to the paranoia, to letting the revenge happen. If the guilt wasn't there, revenge is impossible.
Definitely.
Serious. She wouldn't have fell for it as much. Not that she could do anything about that computer, but maybe. But this was fun. I know you've got something to do soon, so I'm going to let you go. But like, this is, I hope you'll come back for the, like, sometime we're going to try to schedule with everybody to do a recap of the whole season.
100%. 100%.
Because now that I know that all these episodes, even in season 6, they kind of all bled together a little bit. Like, now I'm really interested to see if we can tie these all together to some kind of common theme. Besides just the technology, because he usually has a feel when he's writing. He writes these things well in advance.
Oh yeah, very little is done by accident, is it? There's very little coincidence. I've not seen all this season yet, but what I will do is I'll give it a watch. I'll rewatch the ones I have seen, and I'll start to be a little bit more meticulous about paying attention to the finer details, and see if I can piece something.
I don't expect you to become an Easter egg master. It's okay. Like, you don't have to do that, because the important part is to enjoy the writing. This man is so creative, and to enjoy it the way he wants us to feel it. Like, the Easter eggs are all there for like your second views, your third views. The Easter eggs are there it's a genius way to keep the series alive forever. You have to go all the way back to the first episode sometimes to find some of these Easter eggs or remember things. And what I really enjoy about this whole series is it's not a one and done. You can watch an episode again and find more and more in it. The writing, the styling, the director, the cinematography, the acting. Oh, you just find more and more, not just the Easter eggs, but it's just enjoyable. At least I think so. I'm a big fan. Like, I'm over the top about it. But thank you.
No. And like I say, I will look forward to coming back for the next one, for the for the finale when you bring everyone together. I'll look forward to coming back for that.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's been great. So thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
No, thank you so much for having it. I just want to give a shout out. Anybody, like, we do have other episodes. Anybody interested, like, give me a yell. I got some of them booked, but there's a few open. I want to have the variety of voices. I think this is great. This was fun. That's an adorable hat. Okay,
so I'm about to leave my little garden room, and it's
he is. He's ready to run. So we're gonna let him go. Thank you all for joining us. And hey, don't forget to like, share, and hit the comment section for us if you have questions or anything. It all helps the algorithm. Go check out Katz's channel. He put something up today too. Go see it.
See you later. Bye. Yeah, so I always wear a cap when I go outside when it's sunny because